Okay. So, what curriculum, I'm going to ask you, Cami, what curriculum do you use?
So I've got Sunlight, and then I've also got some The Good and the Beautiful.
Okay. Awesome. I've used both of those. So that's awesome. So I just wanted to get that bit of information before I jump in, since you're the only one on, because I do kind of want to be able then to talk kind of directly to you. So, welcome everybody to the homeschool tips and tricks that I have learned over the last 2 years, and now jumping into my third year of homeschooling. So, just like I asked Cami, there's lots of curriculum packages to choose from out there. So, Sunlight at this point is my go to, partly because they just give you everything that you could possibly want or need for getting started with homeschooling. I was homeschooled. Cami, I know you were homeschooled too, weren't you? So, like, my mom didn't have Sunlight. She just did a hodgepodge of all sorts of things from all sorts of different places. And I actually learned a lot of how I do things now from her, in terms of her picking and choosing according to my learning abilities, which is one of the reasons why I love homeschooling so much at this point, because I feel like it really caters to your kid. And this year, especially, I'm starting to get the heartbeat of where my kids are at, and starting to really, like, Cora is such our brainchild. I could probably just put a book in front of her and she could just teach herself at this point. Like, I wouldn't have to do anything for her. Now, I still want to be involved in it, because I don't want her to be one of those kids that's like, oh yeah, my mom checked out and didn't help me. But my two daughters below her both struggle with the reading aspect of things. So I know that they've probably got some mild learning disabilities in terms of comprehending what they're reading. And so, what I love about this is that you can be hands on as a parent and be able to cater to what they need, and know that they are getting the best education possible because you are recognizing where they are at in certain subjects. So, that's something I've noticed already this year that gets me super excited, because I'm able now to add in different things. So I'm doing a little bit more than what Sunlight does, like adding in certain things for those two girls specifically, just because I want to make sure that I am keeping them up on the grade level that they should be in, should we decide to put them back in public school at some point. At this point, I don't see that happening, but we always look at it year by year. We go, okay, where are things at with the school system this year? Where are things at with us? What does God want us to do? So we pray over it every year. So that's where we're at this point. And like I mentioned, we use Sunlight. I used The Good and the Beautiful with Dennis last year and loved it. Like, I think for your preschool, kindergarten age, it's so, I don't know, it's just I'm going to say the graphics. The pictures and the images and the books and the hands-on activities. I felt like it was really good. If other people have other things that they've used that they love, I would love for them to put that in the comments whenever I post this, because I will post this on Facebook. But just so that everybody can start to glean from this video overall. So that's where I'm at with all of that. Cami, what did you think about The Good and the Beautiful?
I really liked it. We used it last year, so when my son was 3, and
Okay.
he loved all the activities, and um, it was fun watching him learn different things both from it and on his own, sort of. Like, he could spout off the alphabet, but once it taught him to sort of recognize letters, he started figuring out, because he would point at random letters and say it, but then he
Yep.
started figuring out, oh, this is the way we do things, like left to right, top to bottom.
Yes.
Um, and watching him just sort of figure it out on his own. Um, yeah, reading is the area that I'm nervous about teaching because my mom said she never had to teach me how to read. I just
Oh.
started, and like trying to teach someone how to read is kind of intimidating because you just do it. Like,
Yes.
it just comes super naturally to me. So, and I think it's going to come more naturally to my 4-year-old than less so to my other, like just from what I've seen so far.
Yes.
But he tries to teach his little brother, like we'll be doing the vowels song, and then the 2-year-old will sing his vowels song.
Yes.
Like, we'll point at the letters and tell them what they are, and
Yep.
copy them. So
Yes.
that's really cute and exciting.
Yes. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, good. Because I was feeling the same way about the good and the beautiful, but I know lots of kids and people are different. So, that's wanted to go over that. So, like I said, if you're just starting, I would highly recommend just jumping on with Sunlight and get their full curriculum package for whatever age group that you are teaching. Now, if you're like me and you're like, well, I'm jumping in with like 3 different grade levels, this year 4 for me, then I still would do Sunlight, but you might want to pick the history package that's kind of in between your grade levels. So then you can teach up and teach down to whatever grade level that you've got. I also kind of picked based on what I wanted to teach my first year. So my first year, I was supposed to do. I think I was supposed to do American. Yeah, we were supposed to do American history a couple years ago whenever we started. Well, I wanted to start with world history. So I decided I'm going to do world history. So it did kind of mess us up a little bit, like we are a little bit off on things. But at the same time, it's actually put my kids kind of right in between with kind of how they say you should do things. So I wouldn't get too worked up or freaked out about like, oh, now I'm off and now what are we going to do? And now my kids are going to fail. Like, don't let your brain go down that path of like, I'm the worst homeschool parent ever. And now I've totally messed them up, because that's not the case. It's just not. And what I love about the younger age groups whenever you're schooling is that this is actually a great time to like get your feet wet with homeschooling, because as you're going, like, it does, like, it matters, but it doesn't matter that much. You really want your kids to just start to, I guess, start to get a love of learning. And so if you are working with your kids with Sunlight, or even with the good and the beautiful, and you're like, if it's a fight, like if you're fighting with them and they're in tears and you're in tears, then you need to try something different. Either dial it back a little bit, like do shorter sessions, maybe be like, okay, for 5 minutes, we're going to work on this. Or start to look maybe at doing things outside with a more hands-on type of activity rather than traditional schooling of like, sit down at the desk and you're going to write, because sometimes kids just don't. They just, yeah. I feel like boys especially are like, they can only handle, like Dennis last year could only handle it for 1 or 2 minutes. And then he was done. He was out of there. So I had to get really creative with him, because I was like, he does not want to do traditional. So the other resources I wanted to throw out there for people. Hi, Vera.
Hi.
You want to say hi?
Mm-hmm.
You want to say hi? Oh, you're all wet. Is that because you put your clothes on right after being out of the bath? No? Okay.
Time to watch.
You want to watch? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the one that is bound and determined.
One much.
You're watching. See? And there's Cammie. Can you say hi to Cammie?
Hi, Tammy. I'm here to see a baby.
Oh, look at him. He's sleeping.
Yeah.
Oh, look at those cheeks. So
Yeah.
sweet. It always melts me. I'm like, oh, the babies. Okay, so the other resources I wanted to throw out there that I discovered last year that I finally jumped into and got is The Well-Planned Gal by Rebecca Ferris. I don't know if you've seen any of her stuff or use it at all, but she like advertises all over Facebook and everywhere. And I have fallen in love with her planners. And she now has a homeschool planner for, okay, goofball. She now has a homeschool planner for up to 7 students. So she's got the smaller ones too, but I love it. Okay, shh. I'm going to have to send you back downstairs. Okay, so can you sit quietly? Or you can go. You can go downstairs if you want.
No, I want to come back.
Okay, you can stay up. So I'm going to try and just hold this up so you can kind of see it. This is like the huge one, but it's got a place for every kid, every subject for 5 days, but I only school for 4 days. And I am still trying to figure it out, but there's so much to it that I feel like there's space to figure it out, if that makes sense. So you could use it all in that way, or you can use your Sunlight, because Sunlight definitely has it planned out really nicely according to days too. But I just love all the different pieces that go to it. So it's also got the full month in it. And it's got lists for daily cleaning schedule, for chores, for the kids, projects for the month, home and family plans, sections to write notes. So she's got that. And then she's also got this busy mom planner. I've got like all of her planners. I finally was like, I'm all in. She has helped my brain and helped me to schedule. So the busy mom planner is similar, except it's geared more towards mama who are running a side business. So you can resonate with this, Cammie, I know, because you're running your books and I'm doing the oils. So that is why I've loved this too, is because it's helped me, and I do cleaning in the summer. I clean cabins in the summer. So this has helped me to schedule my business, and then all my homeschooling is in this separate planner, which has completely helped my brain. And I don't sell for well-planned gal at all, but I'm recommending her products. She's also got student planners too, which we've started using. We tried to use last year, but some of my girls were just a little too young. So Cora was the right age, but I'm going ahead and we're going to try it again, see if I can help them. But it's got like a chores section and the kids can write out their assignments and stuff like that. This is a little below your kids too. You're not going to hand your 4-year-old his planner. Here you go.
Yeah.
Be kind of funny. So those are things she's also, I'm telling you, I've jumped all in. She also has these pins, these erasable pins. Have you ever seen these?
I have. I haven't tried them yet.
Okay. I was skeptical. Yes. Well, actually, you don't. These ones will write on any surface and erase on any surface. So I was skeptical. I was like, do these really work? Yes, they work. And it's erasable markers and highlighters too. So, except I go through the ink way too fast, but you can order refills. So those are super cool too. So I'm just going to put those resources out there. The other resource that I ran into is I had a lady contact me on Instagram, and she has started an app called Homeschool Yo Kids. So YO Kids. And she has started to compile information for every state, like homeschool requirements, like little stories. Like she had me do an interview, like type out an interview. Do you want down? And she's done a ton of stuff. So she's not necessarily like some of the interviews on there that I've read, you can tell like, okay, these people, like this person is a believer, but some of them aren't. So it's not necessarily religion based. It's just if you want to homeschool your kids, here's extra resources for the state. So I think that app, I downloaded the app, and I think so far I like it. We'll see where it goes.
It'll be definitely nice, like with bouncing around from place to place, like
yes,
do.
Yes, exactly. So I thought it was super cool. So I am promoting her stuff too. The other resource, I'm going to plug Cammie here. Cammie, do you just want to give a little blurb about what you do? That would be awesome.
Sure. So I sell Usborne Books and More which are, there, lots of people think of them for little kids, and we do have great ones for little kids, but it does go all the way up
Mm-hmm.
through high school or adults. We have some really cool ones that are like the illustrated thesaurus or illustrated dictionary that get the kids really excited, and I've used it sometimes. It's like, I don't like using the same word over and over again.
Yep.
So like going and finding other words you can use, but it's like in a way that you can see,
Yep.
sort of like what the words mean to help it click in your brain. And we've got a bunch of other resources, and actually, like Sunlight has a lot of Usborne books
Mm-hmm.
in their curriculum.
Yep.
Mom, I didn't have very high quality. They're at first I was like, these are kind of pricey, but then we got the books and I saw how sturdy they were. I'm like, okay, I love these, and I started selling because I get them for a whole lot cheaper.
Yep.
When I do that, and when you host a party, you earn free books as well. So
Yep.
that's a good way to help with the cost. They're worth the cost. It's just everybody has a budget.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good way. Parties are a good way to help with that.
Yes. Yes. And I can concur with that. I've really enjoyed their grammar punctuation books for the kids. I used that a lot last year, just having the kids read through it. There's like the little flip books for that. So highly recommend it. Cami is your girl. I'll make sure I post a link to the Facebook too for that, as well as for the Well-Planned Gal and for Sunlight stuff, just so you guys have all the links for that. The other thing I wanted to touch on is, of course, health and wellness. Oh, honey. While you're going into, oh, baby, that hurt, didn't it? I know. There's a desk right there. You thought my arm was there. Do you want me to kiss it? Want me to kiss it? No? Yes? Here. Mwah. Take a deep breath. Oh, that's the worst. So, is the making sure as you're going in, and this applies to anybody, whether you're homeschooling or you're public schooling or you're private schooling or doing a mixture of both. Are you going to go? No? Okay. You're hurt. Are you going to? This is not cold anymore. You'll have to go downstairs and get an ice pack, okay? Okay. She handed me an ice pack that was just sitting on the desk. Here, Mom. So, like I was saying, this applies across the board because I feel like my kids, especially, as soon as we start school, whether it was when we were public schooling or homeschooling, they got sick. Like almost right off the bat, they got some sort of sniffle or sore throat. And so it always reminded me, I mean, even now I have 2 kids. We started schooling today. And it doesn't fail. 2 of my kids kind of have that stuffy nose, and I can tell like their sinuses are just irritated and their throat's kind of irritated. So the first thing I do is I make sure there's no sugar, no dairy, no flour. Okay. And the flour is extreme, but I would say at least no sugar, no dairy. Dairy creates a lot of phlegm in their throats. So if you can avoid those, do your teas, your medicinal teas. I always like to throw the Thieves essential oils. If you guys have seen my oil class, then you would know why this is so important. The Thieves essential oil in with I'll drip it on the tea bags even, and I just do a big old pot of it. And then I'll add some honey, because honey medicinally for your throat is excellent. Make sure it's like homegrown honey, like it's raw honey, because the other stuff is like, it's fake. Cami, I'm sure you know all of this because you're so on the in and all of this. But for those of you that don't know, that raw honey is better for you medicinally. A lot of the honey you can buy from just your normal like city market Safeway is not going to give you the health benefits that the raw honey can give you. So make sure that that's the honey that you're using with your tea. So like I said, I like to use the Thieves. Thieves is the immune support oil that we use a lot of times. The other things you want to boost add in a lot of your greens. Okay, so here's my other tip for you guys that have kids that you're like, I can't get my kids to eat greens for nothing. Okay, if that's the case, what I love doing is adding greens to a smoothie. So you throw them in a smoothie with, you got it. Good job, baby girl. With some blueberries. If you're avoiding the dairy, okay, now if your kids don't have that sinus crud going on, then absolutely throw in your yogurt for the extra protein or the milk, whatever. Otherwise, you can use fruit juice too with that smoothie just to boost the greens. And my kids love it. Oh, and bananas. Ow. That's the other thing that I add in the smoothie is the bananas. That's going to be super cold. That's it. Yeah, that's super cold. So health, lots of water, not health, eating healthy, lots of water, drink those teas. That's a great way to boost their immune system. The other things that I love to use, oh, honey, she is just, I think she's growing. Yeah, you keep hurting yourself. Did you ever notice that? Your kids bump into things more whenever they're getting bigger. So the other things I wanted to run through and mention for you guys is also good sleep for your kids, especially in those first couple weeks of school. Their little brains are just maxed out, especially if they're heading to public school and you're not the one monitoring how much, like you can tell when your kid's brain is just full and they need a break. Okay, sometimes those teachers in the public schools are just moving from one kid to the next and aren't necessarily, they're just following their schedule. Nothing against them. They're doing a great job. But sometimes they can't pay attention as much to see, oh, does your kid need a break? So the other thing that I like to do is I do like to apply oils at night. So they have this awesome line. We sell this awesome line of Kid Sense oils. I'm going to show it down on this camera and then up here. It's called Sleepy Eyes. And it is fantastic in the diffuser, on their chest. What's awesome about this is they're pre-diluted. They're ready to go on your kid. You don't have to dilute them. So Sleepy Eyes is great. The other thing that I just put in the bath with my kids is Sniffles, because of the fact that they were kind of feeling a little junky in that area of their body. So Sniffles is another good one. Vera, who keeps getting hurt, okay, now she really got, she's just bumping into things. But if she got a bruise or if she got a little scrape, I would put on this owie oil. So this is not, like I said, it's already diluted. It's ready to go. So that's the Kid Sense. And then during schooling, the other oil I love to use in their Kid Sense line is the one called Genius. This one is very earthy smelling, and because it's got like the frankincense in it, and it really does help. I use all of these for the same purpose that I use them on my kids. I've even used owie on our horse. So it works. They all just do wonderful things. So all of these actually come in a kit. There's actually two different kits. There's one that's the little oilers kit, and it comes with the feather owl diffuser. And then there's another one. Oh, come here, sweetie. Life is rough tonight. This is bedtime. Hey, sweetie, don't worry about it. Just leave it. It's okay. Sweet girl. The other one is the Kid Sense Roll-On collection, which comes with their Kid Power. And Kid Power smells like dreamsicles. Do you need some Kid Power? Or some owie oil? Yeah. So for our Zoom call, we only have like 5 minutes. But I just wanted to put these kits out there for you guys to be able to see. I was hoping to show slides, but it's obviously not going to work. You're on my phone now. Cammie's on my phone on Zoom, and I'm over here on photo booth recording for Facebook. So I'll post these in the Facebook group so you guys can see the different graphics that go with each of these, and then the kit that you can grab for your kids. I highly recommend it if you're going to be homeschooling. It just does wonders, along with the other thing, sunlight, the good, good and the beautiful, well-planned gal, and Cammie's books. I feel like that's what we should rename it. It's not Osborne's books, it's Cammie's books. So that is it. Cammie, do you have any questions?
Good immune boosters that are like oils that do not have cinnamon and clove, because I have allergies to those.
Oh, yeah. So rosemary is great. Thyme. What, sweetie?
I need owies.
You need owies? You need owie oil? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, your rosemary is good for respiratory.
Band-Aid, Mom.
You need a Band-Aid? Mm-hmm. Go ask your sisters to find you a Band-Aid. Okay? Good job. Thyme. Citrus is a great cleansing oil for even just cleaning things out of your system. Peppermint is always great. I mean, really, a lot of them do a lot of those things. Frankincense is really good for immune boosting. Trying to think of what else would pop into my head. Let's see. Eucalyptus. Anything that's going to, like, if you think about what things, like, what does a sickness do to your body? And then think about what would I use if it was doing that. So for me, it'd be lemon, peppermint, rosemary. Come here, sweetie. Let me hold you. Come here. Okay, I'll help you here in a minute, okay? Okay. Woo! So, and I can add those. I'll add those in a list on the Facebook group too. Because that actually is, I kind of wonder if there's other people who are like that.
Yeah, because everything, like every essential oil group that has their own, it's like this blend that's in like all of their cleaners and all of like, this is everything with you, and I can't have any of it.
Yeah, oh, that's so sad. Yeah, those are powerful immune boosting oils, definitely. So I can see why it's like, yeah, not clove or cinnamon. Okay, I'll add that in a list on the Facebook group too. Because if you could make your own blend and then just make your own cleaner too, because really it's the oils that are in the cleaner that help to cleanse the areas that you want to spray down. Trying to be compliant. So that's a great question. Cool. Do you have any other questions?
Not off the top of my head.
Okay. Well, just message me and resend me your link so I don't have to go look for it. Just like text it to me or whatever, or Facebook Messenger it to me so I can put you in the group. So
sounds good.
This was awesome.